Hi there, Dungeon fans. This is Michael Prescott, and for this third video on isometric drawing tutorials, I thought I would do a village well, but in particular I wanted to focus on some pieces that are technical that I haven't really discussed in too much detail before, in particular circles. So you notice I draw circles in 4 segments. I mentioned this before, but I want to show you how I actually construct them. So this is the north part of the circle, and you can see that the arc there goes from the left side to the right, the middle of the right side, and it has to be parallel with those edges there, and it passes through a point in the middle which is about 3/4 from the center of the circle. When I do the left arc, I do the same thing again. It's parallel to the middle of both of those two sides at each of the tip of the arc. And then in the center, it passes through a point about 3/4 from the center of the circle. This isn't mathematically precise, but it's a good guide for freehanding. Now I'm constructing the frame for the cylinder of the well. So I do this by making a little box and then cutting it half as tall as it was originally. There you can see the box. And then I try and draw precisely the same circle that I drew directly below, and then I can connect up the sides. Once I've done that, I do the inner circle for the hole in the middle of the well, and then I have to figure out where the sides of the well are going to go. I do that by finding the halfway point of that back wall there, and then I just draw a vertical line at the side of the well. That's where I can put my well post. Now when I draw my well post, I just have to decide how tall I want the first one to be, and then I can just use the axis lines, both the one that goes off into the distance to the right, and then the vertical one to figure out where the back of the wall should be. And then precisely the same when I do the roof. I'm making a little triangular prism for a roof. It's very simple. I just need to use the 2 horizontal axes to make sure that I've got the base of that rectangle solid, and then I can connect up the diagonals. Now that I've done the basic outlines, I can get to inking. So I'm starting off with my favorite little extra small marker that I usually do. And remember to do the things in the front first. If you're going to do like I did and draw one of the back posts before I've done the roof, just make sure that you stop drawing when you're behind the roof area. And once I've done the basic outlines, I start texturing. So if you look at the bricks, the first thing I do is the horizontal lines, and it's really important to follow the curvature of the brick wall. As I've said many times before, it's really important to make sure that all of your texture is reinforcing the curvature of the surfaces. So now I want to bring your attention to this little wagon wheel that I drew. The reason I did that is I wanted to make sure that the flat bricks along the top of the well are properly spaced. They're not evenly spaced because we're looking at a foreshortened well, so just drawing that little foreshortened wagon wheel helps me figure out roughly how I want them to be spaced. Now it is time for outlining, and I just grab my big fat M marker like I've done lots of times before. I do the outer outlines, and then for inner overlaps I use the small marker just to call it out a bit more. And there we go, the finished well. Hope that was useful, and next time I will be doing a bridge.